seasonal flu vaccine doesn't work.
Well, sir, you're the medical doctor, so take your time. Go through that and then walk through these mercury and squalene adjuvants, what they're causing in the body. As a top medical doctor, break it down for us.
Well, let me give you what I think their game plan is. They weren't worried about giving the swine flu vaccine in September when they knew that swine flu wasn't going to be an issue. But now they're concerned it may be an issue and people may die from it. I mean, that's not even a question. So they couldn't give the vaccine in September. And then, see, the majority of the flu season is between September and the end of October. That's when the people get sick and die. After that, it tends to be milder no matter what. Well, they've got 50 years of history on this. And so they realized that when this may be real, if they gave the vaccine in September, inoculated 300 million people in this country, and 100,000 people die, their whole vaccine program with all the other childhood vaccines could go down the drain. So they took the vaccine that they had, they put it in storage, and they said, we can't come out with it until the end of October. Now, Dr. John Haldren, not an MD, not a medical doctor, but yet he's the director of the White House Office on Science and Technology Policy, and he said, no, it is so imperative that you have to water it down and give it in the middle of September. The drug companies now come back to him. Now, I'm making this up, and say, oh, we're happy to give you watered down because we'll tell you it most probably doesn't work, so now we're covered either way. We've made our money in September, and if it doesn't work, we say, you see, we have to wait until we have the right amount, And so that's the whole thing, All the other stuff, the mercury, the squalene, mercury is one of the most known toxins, and now they're trying to back off and pretend it's not in the vaccine. But it's not only Alex Jones or Sherry Tenpenny who's saying it. The Wall Street Journal ran the article. The New York Times ran the article. The Washington Post, or I like to call it the Washington Compost. And so it's so out there. I think it becomes, Alex, one of these points where all these misinformed or non-thinkers, go along until they say, hey, wait a minute, I'm the next one who's going to be put into the concentration camp. And I think, and I can tell you something that came out this morning, which is great because I heard you mention Mike Adams, who's just fabulous. He came out with a video. Everyone should go on to YouTube. Look at his video. It says, don't inject me. It is just great. And I think now they're less worried about the damage they can cause with mercury and squalene, both toxic chemicals. Squalene has never been approved for use. And they're more worried that they could lose the whole program. What does it mean, the whole program? The polio, the DPT, the measles, mumps, and rubella. Because once people start doubting, all of a sudden the truth starts coming out.
Well, sir, I know 3 years ago you looked at the trials. I covered it. I had other medical doctors on. I had families, women whose children had died on the show just in the trials with the HPV shot, the human papilloma, Gardasil.
Right.
And then now the FDA comes out last week and says, yeah, we may put a warning out on this. From your medical research, is it the virus or the adjunct or the thing that triggers the immune system? Why is that shot killing people?
Well, I think all of them are, but this one is more remarkable because you're dealing with young teenage girls, and so it becomes more dramatic. If a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old dies, they can attribute it to something else, asthma, bronchitis, but when a healthy, good-looking teenager who's a cheerleader, who's 13, 14, or 15 years old, and those are the ones who've been dying because they're the ones who are getting the vaccines right now. Stalin said it the best. The death of one person is a tragedy. The death of 10,000 is a statistic. And I think we've finally known what to do. I don't know. I don't know the answer, except Dr. Mendelsohn back in the 70s just made the blanket statement after he was the national medical director of Head Start, which means he was the top pediatrician in the country when it came to the government program. He made the statement, every single vaccine causes neurological damage. And that was even before we knew about the mercury, before we knew about the aluminum. He just had this global vision of being involved and seeing what was happening. And I think that everyone's got a piece of the puzzle, Alex. And so to say it's only the mercury, or only the squalene, or the aluminum, or the aborted fetal tissue, or the neomycin or streptomycin, which are all...
So it's not just the adjuvants, it's the cocktail. I had Dr. Ursel Blaylock on last week, the prestigious brain surgeon.
Right.
He said that brains are looking different for people's ages, people don't have memory, that people are brain damaged. And I want to talk to you as a medical doctor when we come back about that. And he said it's vaccines, it's the pesticides, it's the heavy metals in the foods. It's a cocktail. But what is different today than 30, 40 years ago? Dr. Mayer Eisenstein, prestigious doctor, huge practice. We'll talk about how the Amish don't get autism.
Heart-related health problems affect millions of people each year. Maybe you're one of the many who suffer from issues related to angina pain, high blood pressure, congestive heart failure, unbalanced cholesterol, irregular heartbeat, or clogged arteries. There is a solution that doesn't involve expensive prescription drugs that only mask the problem and leave you with horrible side effects. If you are